How can I say this? Yeah, I'm trying to fuck.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Terry or Teresia, and in today's video I want to tell you guys all about my experience studying and doing my bachelor's in Germany, in Munich to be specific. And if you're interested in what that experience was like, then stay tuned. Write your thesis in peace and be out. So essentially, what I hope with this video is to kind of give you guys some more insights. I get so many questions still from you guys from that first video that I did about the true experience. So I thought I would like share some of that with you guys. If you have any more questions or so, be sure to ask me, well, either in a comment below, or you guys could follow me on Instagram if you're not following me on Instagram already, and send me a DM, and you know, we can have a little chat, a little conversation. Yeah, so I kind of have my little list. I want to break it up into my first impressions, class structures, making friends, what's the next one? Relationships with professors. I mean like rapport, you know, because somebody asked. This video is actually inspired by this comment right here, okay? And then also like uncertainty towards the end. If you guys watched my second to last video, you know what I'm talking about. But that's enough blah blah blah. No. First impressions. I definitely have to say that all in all, it really was a good, this is not first impression, this is like my reflection, is that it was a really good experience. Now, my first impression, and I still think so to this day, is that it was definitely very relaxed, easygoing, an introvert's dream. I mentioned this in a past video. You could really just come in and go as you pleased almost, like you were a phantom. You didn't have to be too involved in school life if you didn't want to be, which on one side is good if you don't really care for any of that crap. On the next side, it's kind of crappy if you really wanted to get like a full university experience, like I guess what we grew up seeing on TV all the time, where it's like, oh, the best 4, or in this case 3 years of your life. By the way, I was studying American Studies, which is American cultural history, well, North American cultural history and literature, but towards the end you could kind of specialize into which one you wanted to place your focus on. History alone. As relates to class structures, now for the first 2 semesters we did have typically big, we only had maybe 120 to start out, and then some people dropped away like flies, but we did have big lectures. Compared to people who are doing like BVL or medicine or law, for example, then we were like minute, really small. Those were, I mean, you just got fed the information. It was really introductory courses pretty much anyway for those first 2 years, so nothing, not first 2 years, for the first 2 semesters, I mean. Oopsies! And as it relates to time, so like on the, there's a system that they have called LSF, which is where you get all the necessary information that you need, which a lot of foreign exchange students, a lot of full-time students, and a lot of the professors always complain about, because it's just kind of frustrating sometimes with the way you sign up for things, the way your results come out, blah blah blah. But anyways, that's what we had to work with. So you have all the information about yourself, about what courses, you know, you signed up for, your current payment status, you know, the money that you have to pay each semester, and as it relates to assignments. For the first 2 semesters, we really just had exams, so just read the necessary texts and you go through the PowerPoints from the classes, and that was pretty much it. Now, as I mentioned, we had the big lectures, but we also had smaller working groups, Übungen, ooh, the English, Übungen, and that's in a sense where some people made their first friends, and because apart from that, in the big lectures, you don't really meet that many people, but I'll get into that shortly. So in those groups, you'd, you know, be put maybe into smaller groups, even within that small class, and work on different texts together. But then as we got into like 4th, 5th semester, then we had definitely more essays to write, kind of all the time, but most of them would kind of be due either at the end of the semester or even like in the semester break. Like right now it's the 21st of July. I have 2 essays that are due on the, like the first week of September, for example, which is not too bad. I have time to still write them. And then for the 6th semester, most people would do their bachelor Arbeit, their bachelor thesis. However, as I said, it's extremely flexible and easygoing, so you can do a 7th and even an 8th semester, which is what a lot of some of my classmates are doing. Because, you know, in the winter semester you have a lot more time to really decide what you're going to do afterwards, and then you don't have any other classes really, unless you needed extra points for certain courses, then you could still do those as well in that extra semester and just tie up those loose ends, write your thesis in peace, and be out. As it relates to making friends, as I said, in the big lecture groups, you don't really come into contact with people unless like somebody was sitting next to you, and for some reason you start speaking to each other, because as I said, introverts dream. You could come into the lecture and leave. You don't have to interact, talk to anyone. Sit down, focus on what's going on, and you could go. For example, I was late by 15 minutes. I had an appointment, and I tried to, you know, be as quiet as I could to get into the big lecture, and the woman literally stopped, looked at me as I sat down, tried to find a little seat somewhere, looked at me, and then continued speaking. I was like, oh my, it was just so awkward because obviously everybody knew she stopped talking because Al was coming in. But yeah, I guess she was trying to make a point, but she in particular had an issue with people leaving before the time was up or coming in late, because I mean, yeah, it is disrespectful, I know. But the cool thing is, like with university, you're just kind of free to design it how you want to an extent, but definitely this was the case with my experience. As it relates to making friends, make the effort, because otherwise you're really not going to meet anybody. I mean, more towards the end of these 3 years is when people really started kind of coming together and doing things in like bigger groups, not just like two little friends here and there hanging out having a coffee, but like bigger groups would start doing things together. I mean, I don't know what it is like for the other faculties and other departments and their kids, but that's just how it was for us. So unfortunately, it took a little more time to warm up, a long time to warm up. But definitely was, I guess, worth the wait. And there really weren't that many like student groups. Like I know, for example, in England or in the States, even in the Caribbean, like throughout the Caribbean, they do have a lot of like student body groups for different types of things, like maybe drama club or this or that. I think they do have those things, but they're really like, you have to look to find them. It's not really just really all out there. I mean, if you really want it, of course you're going to put in the effort and look to find it, but there really wasn't that feeling of university vibes, which is, with it being so easygoing and relaxed, kind of takes away from that, I guess, not formal, but from that structured university setting and everybody kind of being forced to be social and interact and do things together. Cigarette smoking in general, I guess. Like, it's like the worst coming up and down those stairs because it's just trying to fight your way through the clouds of smoke, but that is definitely a way people make friends. In class, you're like, oh, are you gonna go for a smoke afterwards? Okay, let's go together. Or you have a light for me, strangers asking each other, and then before you know it, you start a conversation and you just made a new buddy. So for the non-smokers, that's kind of a downer, to be honest. As it relates to relationships with professors, for the most part, professors were really cool, open, easy to approach and talk to. If you had an issue, you could just email them. If it couldn't be resolved that way, then you could just set up an appointment with them during their office hours, talk to them after class, and it was no problem. For example, the one woman who's in charge of my minor, so not related to my main thing, she's in charge of that entire minor, and a lot of people pick that minor because it's very easy to get into. It's a very broad range. I, for example, did a course on Iceland, I did one on Buddhism, I did one on Middle English, so there are a lot of students that she's kind of, you know, overseeing, but she would still respond to you like that. If you had an issue, you would actually call her on her office phone, of course, and it was really cool. Even one of my main professors, I had an issue last semester and I was able to Skype with him because he wasn't in Munich at the time. No issue. Of course, there's certain people who maybe are a bit more cold or a bit more rigid, but I mean, that's life. But for the most part, everybody was very cool, very approachable. And as it relates finally to the uncertainty that I mentioned previously, and I mentioned in my second to last video, I think maybe this is also a part because it's so easygoing and everything's kind of online. I mean, I've looked to try and see when our hypothetical graduation would be, but I have yet to find something concrete. The only reason that I could even postulate that our graduation would be in February next year is because I've seen people who have graduated or finished, not graduated, they finished studying or they finished their thesis in the summer of the previous year and only had the actual ceremony and everything the following February. That's just kind of crappy if people have already made plans after their bachelor thesis, after the bachelor thing, because it's 6 semesters that are actually allocated to this program. So why would somebody really hang around after the 6th semester? The winter semester would end in February, so that's pretty much another semester that you would not have really accounted for, that then graduate from. I just don't really understand why that is so kind of confusing or not clear. All in all, it was definitely a very interesting experience. I met really cool people. I enjoyed the flexibility and easygoing way that it was. I don't know. If you guys have any other questions, be sure to let me know in the comments or shoot me a DM, and you know, we can have a little conversation. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, evening, night, wherever it is you are in the world, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!